Sex. Tell us something about sex. Sure. Biological perspective. Sex refers to biological differences between organisms, typically classified as male-female, based on reproductive anatomy and genetics, such as XY for males and XX for females in humans. Sexual reproduction involves combining genetic material. Again, sexual reproduction involves combining genetic material from two individuals to create offspring, increasing genetic diversity. Human sexuality. In humans, sex is not only about the reproduction, it's also a form of intimacy, connection, and pleasure. It encompasses physical activity engaging in sexual acts which may or may not involve intercourse. That's the physical activity. Sexual orientation. Whom a person is attracted to, heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, or asexual, etc. Gender identity and expression. How individuals experience and express their gender, which can be different from their biological sex. Psychological and emotional aspects. Sex can have deep emotional significance. Where's my flat maker? There's a fly. Sex can have deep emotional significance. For many people, it is tied to trust. Wait, let's close the window because there's a tractor going around and we have a really important topic to discuss. Where we are. For many people, it is tied to trust, vulnerability. Hey, I need that flat maker because it's enough. You know, we talk about sex and the fly is just like what? Want to also talk about the sex or what? That's a flat maker. So, again, for many people, it is tied to trust, vulnerability, bonding, and love. For others, it may be a recreational, spiritual, or simply pleasurable. Culture and social aspects. Different cultures have widely varying views on sex, what's considered appropriate, taboo, sacred, or profane. Attitudes towards sex can be influenced by religion, law, education, media, and social norms. Health and safety. Understanding safe sex practices like using condoms, regular STI testing, and consent is important for both physical and emotional well-being. Exactly. So again, we need that reading. Like we need to read again. Understanding safe sex practices is important for both physical and emotional, and an emotional too, well-being. So safe sex. Open communication and mutual respect are key in any sexual relationship. Well, if we are interested in a specific aspect, health, psychology, relationship, history, gender, or anything else, feel free to narrow it down. Are we interested? Yeah, we are. We are interested, I'm talking for my audience and myself. So we are interested in like, yeah, you know, tell us something about like some different cultures, like, I don't know, you know, Europeans, Asia, Eskimo, like, tell us. Europe, from prudish to progressive, Western Europe, Netherlands, Sweden, France, these countries are often considered sex positive. Sex education is comprehensive and begins early in school, and nudity is more normalized in media and public life, like saunas or beaches. Open conversation about sex, LGBTQ+ rights, and polyamory are common. Southern Europe, Italy, Spain, Greece, strong Catholic heritage still influences views, but younger generations are more liberal. Passion and romance are central to cultural ideas of sex. Think Mediterranean heat. Yeah. Yup. Yeah. Second one is East Asia is tradition meets modern tension. China, historically influenced by Confucianism, which emphasized modesty and family duty. Premarital sex was once taboo, but this was also when I was a kid, when I wasn't even a kid. Like, the parents should marry before they had kids. Like, nobody really had that. Like, in that generation. Like, but when mom was pregnant, they got to be quick. Yeah? They had to be like, they had to marry. Premarital sex was once taboo, but urban youth here. Premarital sex was once taboo, but urban youth today are more sexual active and open. Sex ed is still limited, and conversation often happen more online than in public life. Japan, fascinating contrast, conservative social norms but a massive adult entertainment industry. There's even a decline in sexual relationships among young adults. The so-called celibacy. Manga and anime often explore fantasy and sexuality in exaggerated ways. South Korea, rapid modernization is clashing with traditional Confucian values. Public displays of affection are still frowned upon, but attitudes are slowly shifting. Cosmetic surgery and image consciousness tie into perceptions of attractiveness and sex appeal. Third, Arctic cultures, Inuit and other indigenous tradition. I said Eskimo. I don't know if this is not offended, so I'm taking it back. I'm sorry. It's actually Inuits. I love it. I always forget that. In some Inuit communities, there was historically more openness around sex, including partner sharing as a way to strengthen social bonds. Sexual education traditionally came from elders, using stories and observation. Colonization and missionary influence introduced Christian values, often repressing traditional views on sex. Today, there is a mix of traditional and Western attitudes. South Asia, spirituality, shame, and the Kama Sutra. India, the Kama Sutra, one of the most famous ancient texts on love and sex, originated here. Yet, modern India often treats sex as a taboo, especially for women. Bollywood shows romance, but rarely explicit intimacy. Honor culture and family reputation still shape attitudes toward premarital sex and dating. Polynesia and the Pacific Islands. Many Polynesian societies traditionally view sex as a natural and joyous part of life. In some islands, sexual exploration among youth was historically accepted and encouraged. Christianity, introduced by missionaries, changed norms significantly over the last 2 centuries. Sub-Saharan Africa, community, fertility, and complexity. Attitudes towards sex vary widely by region and tribe. In many areas, fertility is center. Having many children is valued. Traditional practices like initiation ceremonies, sometimes including sexual elements, still exist. Urban youth cultures are increasingly open, thought Access to sex education varies greatly. Final thought. Sex is one of the most universal yet cultural specific aspects of human life. In some places it's sacred, in others it's hidden, but everywhere it reflects what a society values, fears and dreams about. Want to zoom in one of these religions and expose which... No, we don't. We don't. We wanna... No, I don't want you to zoom into this or rituals and taboos. I want you to know, I want to ask you, what if we do like a sex fasting? Yeah. How long can actually man or woman like or any being last in some random age? And another question, is it healthy? Great question. What is sex fasting? Sex fasting, also called celibacy, abstinence, or sexual detox, means intentionally refraining from sexual activity, whether that's intercourse, masturbation, or even sexual thoughts, for a period of time. People do it for various reasons: spiritual growth, mental clarity, energy redirection, athletes, monks, a healing from emotional or physical trauma, testing discipline and self-control, just taking a break. So that's the choose one if you want to do it. How long can a person last without sex? There is no universal limit. You can go indefinitely without sex and survive, but the experience varies widely. Biological man, any age range, can physically survive without sex forever. Some may experience frustration, restlessness, or increased libido in early stages, wet dreams, or spontaneous erections. Eventually, many report a plateau where desire levels off. Biological female also can go indefinitely without sex, might notice fluctuations in mood or desire based on hormonal cycles. Possible increase or decrease in libido over time. Some say sexual fasting makes their later experiences more intense. Other factors: age, hormones, health. Younger people may feel stronger urge due to a higher hormones level. Older adults or people with lower testosterone, estrogen may naturally experience less desire. Stress, medication, diet, and lifestyle also influence libido. Is sex fasting healthy? Yes, in moderation and with purpose. It can be very healthy, but like anything, it depends on the reason, duration, and how it's handled. Potential benefits: increased energy and mental focus, better control over impulses and emotional regulation, time to heal from emotional dependency or toxic habits. For some, spiritual or creative breakthroughs. Reset of dopamine response, similar to digital detox. Yeah, that's true. Reset to dopamine response, similar to digital detox. Yeah, sometimes I do digital detox. Potential downsides can lead to frustration, irritability, or obsession, especially if forced. If based on guilt or shame, it may harm mental health. Prolonged suppression without understanding desire can lead to emotional numbing or disconnected relationships. Fun fact, there is a fun fact: your brain on abstinence. In man, testosterone levels may increase after a few days of abstinence, peaking around day 7 in some studies. In both sexes, dopamine sensitivity can reset, which may make future sexual experience more satisfying. That's true. Everybody knows that. If you have a sex every day, it's cool, it's beautiful, it's amazing. But if you have a sex like twice a week, it's just different. It's crazy. It's wow. Some studies in monks and long-term celibacies show greater mental health and lower anxiety. Final word. Sex fasting isn't about starving your body. It's about mastering your impulses and understanding your own rhythms. Whether you are doing it for a week, month, or a year, the key is intention. If you are using it to grow, reset, or reflect, it can be powerful. Beautiful, huh? Beautiful, amazing, thank you. And now give us some great joke, funny one. The AI is so nice, huh? Glad you liked it. He gives us a cheeky but clean sex related joke, guys. I don't know, there's two, I might read them all, both. Why don't oysters donate to charity? Because they are selfish. Why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling very sexy lately. Why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling very sexy lately. Ah, yo. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you loved it. I hope you learned something. And I go hunt. See ya. Let me know down below. I know you can ask yourself, AI, but it's better when we ask together.